Hey everyone, it's Blaze back again. This time I'm thinking more of a casual video. I do not have a script for this. I just thought I really want to make this video because I was surfing through YouTube this one day and I found this video by this artist. I'm gonna just insert right here the name and the actual video that I watched from them, and they were, it's a pretty thumbnail, and I was like, oh, that's such a pretty thumbnail, I'm gonna watch this video, right? And then as I was watching the video, I realized that they were using this really cool marker to make the sketch of their watercolor painting, and I really wanted that marker because it has this special feature, which is it is water erasable, and I was really amazed by that feature because they were making the sketch and they made the line art over the sketch, and they just ran like a water wash, just water on the sketch, and it disappeared. I was like, okay, this is actually amazing, this is revolutionary. And it wasn't just me, a lot of people in the comments were asking, where is that marker from? Oh my god, where is that from? And apparently it was like from a Japanese brand. I think it was a Holbein marker that was designed for watercolor paintings and designed for the use that she was actually using it for. But the comment that was saying that oh, it's actually a Holbein marker and you can only find it in Japan and this other country, and well, they were right. I was like, no, there's no way that I've got to be able to get this from eBay or something else, and well, I couldn't find it on eBay or Amazon, or not only couldn't I find it, but if I did, it wouldn't ship to Brazil because, as a lot of you know, I am a Brazilian artist, and yeah, they wouldn't ship it to Brazil. So I was like, oh well, I'm not giving up because okay, maybe I can't find the Holbein marker, but a water erasable marker, it doesn't sound like something so out of reach. I mean, I'm sure there's gotta be some type of, I don't know, kids aimed at marker that's oh, you can erase it with water or something like that. It doesn't have to be marketed for artists, it just has to be a water erasable marker, right? So that's what I looked for, a water erasable marker on Google, without mentioning any brands and stuff, and without saying it's for watercolor. And no, this this might sound stupid to people who are into sewing or embroidery, because you probably already know this. Or if you didn't, then you're welcome, but it is actually a tool that's it's been used for a while now for embroidery, especially because it's a marker aimed at that specific niche, so embroidery and sewing, and it is water erasable, so it's intended for marking fabric, and it exists. And it is a pretty cheap one at that. If you go to stores that are focused and aimed at that specific niche, you're probably gonna find it, and it's not gonna be expensive. The Holbein one was a little expensive, at least on the website that I could find it, the Japanese websites, and this other country, I really can't remember which one it was, but it was in Europe or something. Yeah, I could find it available in Brazil, because it's not groundbreaking technology, it's just a water erasable marker. So I found a lot of websites that sold not only the water erasable marker, but also a heat erasable marker that I saw some artists using too for erasing lines of their sketch with a blow dryer, and or passing the paper under an iron, ironing thing that you use to iron your clothes. But yeah, I was more focused on the water erasable marker because it feels like it, matches more the watercolor process. instead of, you know, adding heat to the paper. And I also thought the heat would like damage the paper or like somehow like mess with the paper's properties, because, you know, watercolor paper is so sensitive. So yeah, I was focused on getting the water erasable marker, right? And I was like, okay, maybe I'll just wait until I, you know, come across this, I don't know, gosh, I don't know how you call those types of stores in English, but it's like stores that sell like embroidery and sewing equipment, you know, like, and I was like, okay, maybe someday I'll pass through one of those and I'll be like, oh, I'll see if they have one here. But these days I was at DAISO and I was like, oh, I wonder if they have it. And they did. They did. So DAISO has a water erasable marker that is indeed aimed at like fabric. So it's like, I forgot what it was called, but in the packaging it read like I don't know, fabric marker, erasable, water erasable, something like that. But yeah, so if you go to one store that has like stuff like that, those types of sewing products, and you want this marker, you just have to ask for a water erasable marker. Don't say it's for watercolor or stuff like that, because if you go to like an art supply store, you're probably not gonna find it. I mean, that's my view, because I couldn't find it other than, you know, in those types of stores that sold like those types of tools for those type of like niche hobbies, right? So yeah, I found it, and it worked exactly like the one that the artist that I mentioned used in their video. And it's, I don't know, it was so magical. Like, you could see it in the part of the video that I like ran water over the blue lines and they just went away. One thing that I did realize though is that I really don't know how this works, but you gotta kind of like, as you run the water through the drawing, you gotta kind of like wash the brush and then go over it again, like to kind of get rid of the invisible pigment, because if it dries down with like some bits of the invisible pigment in there, you can also see it in my drawing that once it dried down, some diluted parts of the pigment were still visible after dry. So I went with a second wash to get rid of those like diluted pigments, and it was completely gone after that. So yeah, kind of like go with the mindset of like washing out the pigment, even if it's invisible. Just kind of like run your brush through it and wash it in the little water container that you have for your watercolor, and just do that a few times just to make sure that you get rid of all the invisible pigment. I kept thinking, am I dumb? Am I just stupid? Like, do people already use this? Did people already know about this like groundbreaking groundbreaking watercolor hack or something like that? Did people already know about that? Am I just like finding out about this like really late? Are people gonna watch this video and be like, duh, ways, like, have you been living under a rock? Do you not know how to like, you know, make your life easier with watercolors? I'm kind of scared of that, honestly, but what motivated me to make this video and to like, I don't know, get the word out there about this water erasable marker is that I really don't know a lot of people know about this, like using this type of like erasable marker for watercolor sketches, because so many people were asking about the marker on that artist's video, like, what marker is that, and then this person said like, oh, it's only available in Japan and you can only get it there, and everyone's like, oh man, that's so like, you know, that's such a bummer. That's why I think it's not only me, okay? That's why I think it could be groundbreaking to some people, because it was to me. I was like, wait, this the word has to get out there. Like, everyone needs to hear about this, and everyone needs to start using like water erasable markers for their watercolor sketches, because it makes the process so much easier, especially if you don't like have a way of like tracing the sketch onto the watercolor paper, or if like the tracing source. I don't know, because I use my iPad. You could see it in a lot of my videos. I use my iPad and I put it into the assisted guidance mode. I don't know, but it's a mode that turns off the touch capabilities of the iPad, so it's completely like touchless, and it serves just as a, I don't know, a light board with the drawing underneath that I just, you know, turn the light off in my room, and then I put the paper on top of it. I put some tape and I trace over it. It's a method of like getting your sketch onto the watercolor paper without having to like erase it so many times, because watercolor paper is can be a bit sensitive, especially the cotton, 100% cotton watercolor paper. Yeah, it is a method, but if, I don't know, your iPad is too small, or you can't get it to on the assisted guidance mode, or I don't know, your watercolor paper is too big, or for whatever reason you don't want to use this technique, like this is a great way to like have your sketch directly on the watercolor paper and not have to erase it, you know, by using friction, because friction can damage the paper. I thought it was so cool, and at DAISO there were 2 colors for the marker. There was the blue and the pink one. I got the blue one because I wanted to be like exactly like that person in the video. But I really want to get the pink one now, because I can imagine like making a sketch in blue and like having it really, really rough, and then going over the really, really rough blue sketch with the pink marker to like kind of refine it a little bit, because I'm sure you understand that like the first sketch is always like the messiest one, and then I don't know, that's how I do it. I kind of go over the first like really messy sketch with like more defining lines, and then I go over with like the actual like line art and stuff like that. So that's why in this video I actually went with the blue marker, and then I went with the with just a soft graphite pencil, like a normal pencil, and then I went over it with a Polychromos black coloring pencil. I really love the Polychromos pencils. I had to like keep sharpening it because I wanted a thin tip to be able to like make the line art with it. There's this artist that I really like that she always makes line art with Polychromos black pencils. She's Little Thunder. I really, really love her work. I admire her a lot, and she always makes line art with that, you know, pencil, and I was like, I want to do that. Also, because I did not manage to bring, I'm actually in my hometown right now because of some mental health issues. I'll maybe talk about that in another video, but I didn't manage to bring my ink, my water resistant ink. It's like an acrylic ink actually, because that's why it's water resistant, but I was afraid that I was gonna like spill all over my suitcase, so I didn't bring it this time with me in this trip. And I basically had no way of making line art in a way that I'm comfortable, because I really, really like using felt tip pens, like a G pen, to make my line art, and I didn't bring it. So I was like, okay, how am I gonna make line art now? And I went to this art supply store in my town and I got a black Polychromos pencil. I was like, okay, let's try this out. Let's use this as an opportunity, right? Because they also didn't have, I went there to buy ink, but they didn't have the ink that I needed, which was the acrylic water resistant ink, and I don't have any in my, you know, hometown, so I had to use a Polychromos pencil. But I really liked it. It kind of allows for more forgiving lines, if that makes sense, because I can actually like erase the lines a little bit. It's not as erasable as like a graphite, you know, pencil line, but it's still very forgiving. Instead of like, you know, with ink, if you make a line and you don't like it, then you have to, you know, get a new piece of paper and start it all over again, because ink is definitely not forgiving. It's there and it's gonna stay there forever. But I really like working with ink and felt dip pens, you know. I want to make more videos with that type of process actually, because I enjoy it so much, and I actually have a couple sketches that I would like to use that process in. And yeah. This drawing, I don't know, I just wanted kind of an excuse sketch to use this blue marker, so I went with like a default pretty girl portrait type of artwork, and I really liked it. I am kind of proud of how it came out. I feel like every time I make a drawing now, I'm experimenting new things. Maybe I'll talk more about that in my next video, but I'm kind of rediscovering what I like to paint, what I like to make, and yeah, what I want for the rest of my life. No pressure, but yeah. I think this is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm just gonna leave you with the rest of the footage. I did talk a lot in this video, maybe because I did not have a script, so I blabbered a lot. Let me know if that bothers you or not. I don't know. I kind of liked it. I feel like I'm talking to a friend, and it's a great excuse to practice my English too. So yeah, I also hope that the water erasable marker, I don't know if I can call it a tip or like a hack, but I hope this information was useful to you, because it was to me. I had to like do some research to find a water erasable marker like the Holbein one that the artist used in the video, so here it is. I'm sharing my answer with you all. I even thought like about making those, really clickbaity titles like water erasable marker? What? Marker that erases with water? It would definitely be completely off-brand with my channel, but it would be funny. I had fun thinking about that and like having like a how do you call it? The pogger's face? Okay. I don't know, but like that, oh my god, type of face, in the thumbnail, really clickbaity vibes. Oh well. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Yeah, I think so. Okay, yeah, I think I said everything. Okay. Goodbye, have fun, thank you for watching. Also, a little side note, I cannot stop thinking about "You don't even know my name, do ya?" or "What's your ETA? What's your ETA?" I cannot stop thinking about these two songs, okay? New Jeans has me in a chokehold. Send help, please. I can't take it anymore. Okay, bye.